Okay, let's talk a bit about the repair that we've done on this one, which pretty much applies to any of the controllers. So there is a catch that very few people actually know and very few explain it. You can buy new sticks, yeah, and probably a lot of time they will be blamed. Yeah, so I want to explain it quite clearly, if I can, to see why it's hard to replace the sticks on a controller. I mean, okay, it's dead. You need to do something about it. Either you throw it away or you fix it. So when you are throw it away or fix it, it's clearly needed to be changed. Whatever happens, at least to be a bit better than it was before. But I wouldn't really change the original ones that just had a tiny bit of a drift that you don't see it in a game yet. Why? Let's take the example of this one, an Xbox controller which has a micro USB. Yeah, so it's not a type C, it's a micro USB. This one is not supported by the calibration with the Microsoft tool. There is a calibration tool, but not for this one. It's done for the ones with a type C. Why we're talking about calibration? All of these ones, all of these variable resistors, yeah, all of them, they don't stay exactly in the middle. If this is a 10K, it's not gonna stay at 500 and 500, yeah? It will be either 5.1 and 4.9 or around there, even more, yeah? So they're not gonna be two the same, yeah? They are not even original when they assembled them in the factory. So even original, they are not the same. So what they do, let's say the original one compared to this one, it's a bit sideways, yeah? Inside, not on the top. On the top it stays like this, but let's say it's not balanced completely, yeah? So it's like being a bit on the side. That will be probably 4.7 with 5.3 at the dead center. What they do in the factory? They run a software and they calibrate, so the controllers know that 4.7 and 5.3 means dead center, yeah? So means this is dead center, yeah? I hope you understand. So dead center calibrated is like 4.7 and 5.3, is not 5 and 5. So these controllers will always know, because it was written inside the firmware, that 4.7 and 5.3 means middle, not 5 and 5 middle. Now you come with a very good stick, yeah? Let's say this one is 5 and 5, yeah? Let's say it's perfect, yeah? 5 and 5. And you put it back in this thing, yeah? And you say, oh, I measure it. It's absolutely impeccable. It's 5 on the side and 5 on the other side. So it's dead center. And you put it in here. The trick is, this one does not know that 5 and 5 is center. It knows that 4.7 and 5.3 is center. So when you put this one, it will be offsided. It will be drifted. Because it drifts from the firmware. It drifts from the calibration. That's the trick. And there are not many people telling that, yeah? So if you do not calibrate it because you don't have with what to calibrate it, even with brand new sticks, you're still gonna be offsetted. It's not gonna be zero, yeah? So it's not gonna be complete zero. That's the trick. So you can have the best sticks you can buy, perfect, but still this is gonna be drifting because in the firmware the original one wasn't perfect and they recorded that not perfect as default, as middle. Yeah, I hope you got that one. Which leads us to a lot of trouble because we are not capable to just write this is dead center, done. I mean, look, for example, for this one, a PS4 controller, there is a utility that you can use it to set the calibration to dead center. Yeah? Done. You change them, you say this is dead center, done, and works absolutely perfect. But on this one, we need to struggle to find one that actually is close to the original, not perfect, closest to the original. So you actually register it as dead middle. And now I'll show you what I'm talking about on this one first. Hold on. Let's bring the window up. Yeah, hold on, I had the other one. I'm disconnecting that one. Let's disconnect this one. We'll put the Xbox one first, the one that we just repaired. Okay. So, let's run it. Let's run the one that we struggle on. You see here, I got a minus 800 to plus 800. I'm going to tell you in a second what that actually means. It's not much. I'll tell you it's another software. So, this is what we've done on this one. Brand new stick. We got a minus 800 plus 800. Yeah, on the other side we've been very lucky with a new stick. And see, on the y-axis on this one, it's perfect. This is the value we're looking for from the factory. It's around 100 and something, yeah? And look at this one, 580. We've been lucky with this one. So when you see videos on YouTube, some of them they've been lucky like this, and it's all good, or they do not say it, that they change 10, 15 pieces until they come up with a decent, or they don't care as long as they doesn't drift outside of a zone that is called dead zone. If it's in the dead zone, it doesn't matter this small drift that it has. And I'll show you now on the other one. Hold on. Let's get rid of this window first. Let's bring this window up. Yep. So check this one out. Yeah, we're moving. We care about these values, you see? We are 0.01, 0.00, 0.02, 0.02. The dead zone is 0.1 usually. Yeah, dead zone is 0.1. So this is far off the dead zone. But originally it should be this 0.00. That's factory. Alright? So we are good with this one. It works. Even if 0.09, you are still good. But you're gonna have a drift there, but it's not gonna be registered by the game. So you do not know you have a drift there. Yeah? So if you just change it, you're not gonna have a drift because you're not gonna know. It can be 0.09, it's not 0.1, so it doesn't drift. It's no more than 0.1. But it's not factory. Yeah? So we got this one to a decent amount with plenty of play there for the future use. Alright, so let's put this one aside. And now I'll show you this one that is calibrated, how it looks like, yeah? So this we talk about, it's a calibrated one. Yeah, let's bring that window forward. Yeah, let's move it. Look at that. Check this out. 129, 129, 129, 128. This is calibration. This is how it should look there if you have the calibration tool. Those are not perfect, but this is calibrating. So if you have that tool, like I have for this one, it will look like that. It will be absolutely perfect, like brand new. Let's look with the other software also to see that you are in 0.00. I'm almost 100% sure. So let's bring that one forward. Yeah, see? 0.00, 0.00. It's actually, if you see 0.039393939. So absolutely all of them are completely dead on. So okay, what can we do in this case? Well, not too much. That's the annoying part. Yeah, if you don't have that calibration tool, then people came with the idea, which might be in a way good. Yeah, of course, not like this tiny one, to try to put some resistor on a side to balance it more until it gets to closer to zero, yeah, to the center. By putting one resistor on a side, this is not gonna go as used to before, because on this side there will be a bit more resistance added to everything else, not only the center. Even when you don't have the center, you're still gonna add this resistor on top of that one. So it's not gonna track as it should be. It might work, it might be decent, but you will feel a difference when you play, especially if you are more crazy playing, you know, and about your controls. So I cannot use that. Other people, they put on parallel on top of it. They even do it called a mode to put potentiometers on top and to adjust it, but those are parallel to that. So yet again, it will interfere even more with the feel of the controller. So that's not the case either. So the best you can do is to take every single one and test it until you get the closest to 0, 1. So you just take one of these, you take one of that, and so on and so on and so on, and you put them there and you see which one is closest to 0, and after that you find one, you just stick it in there, you just put it in and let it in there, and that's it. And that's how you actually do it, so it feels good when you play and you change it. So bottom line, buy a lot of these, not only one, if you need one. If you don't care too much, then you just put a new one there and away you go, you know, because it's not gonna drive. But if you wanna do it, let's say OCD, I mean, yeah, we are crazy, we want to be exactly spot on, then you need to select the one that is closest to 0. But that's the trick. Without that tool, you cannot have it like factory after you replace it, even with a good one. And it can be a good one with a huge drift. You can actually have that drift and you feel it in the game, and doesn't mean you bought a bad one. It means it's not calibrated, your stuff is not calibrated to the one that you put on. Your controller is not calibrated to the one you put on. And then you need to change it until hopefully you find one that is not drifting, because it's in that 0.1 dead zone. I hope it makes sense and I hope you understand. When you change that, be prepared to have more to test with to be able to do it. And one more thing before we end this one, the drift. On these resistive ones, the drift usually comes from the resistors, but it can be mechanical also, yeah? I mean, look at this one, yeah? Look at it. Yeah? And that's not a problem, you know? This won't happen when you have the hat on. But what happens, it drifts here, it doesn't go in the center anymore, yeah? It doesn't sit in the center. It just sits on the side, you move on this side, it sits more on that side, and that's mechanical drift. On PS3 controllers, they usually have magnetic sensors here, that they don't die, they are immortal, those magnetic sensors, yeah? But from using this one, the insides of this go and will stay off-centered. It's not gonna be back in the center all the time, yeah? It's not gonna be dead center, and that's the drift on those magnetic ones. And same thing on that magnetic ones, what I will do in the future, I'm gonna take the magnetic sensor off sideways, yeah, the other one sideways, and I'm gonna change only the mechanics from a brand new one, because those ones will be already registered in the firmware on the calibration. So being registered in the calibration, they will be already calibrated. So I'm just gonna change the mechanics on those magnetic ones, because I'm remaining with the calibrated sensors here, because the sensor there do not go back. Yeah? But on this one, you just need to replace parts until you get a part that is closest to the one that was known by the controller in the calibration. Alright, well, that's it. I hope you got the picture with this one, because it was a bit of a struggle to fix that one in a decent way, I mean closest to the factory. But I think it works, and I think my client will be happy. We'll see. But anyway, that's how you do it, and that's a few things that nobody was telling on YouTube. Yeah, about calibration and need of calibration. And what happens that you buy one, you put it on, and it's not decentered. That's why it's not decentered, not because the one you bought is faulty. It can be faulty, you might get a faulty one, but usually it's not faulty. It's not calibrated to your controller. If you have a calibration software, like this one does, like the newer version of these ones have, the one with Type-C here, then you're all good. You change it, calibrate, done. Like half an hour job, you're done. If not, and you have one like these ones with a mini USB, oh, be ready for hours and hours to swap until you find one that is closest to zero. So that's it. I hope this will help somebody when he tries to fix one. Alright, thank you, and see you on the next one. We still have a few.